guys, it is day one of the Rereadathon and I am so happy it's finally here, and I was so happy to see all the TBRs go up. I was really scared that like no one else would do this, so I'm so happy to see all the TBRs that have gone up. It is currently 20 to 10 on the 6th on Sunday, and I am just outside my stables. I'm waiting for my horse riding lesson, which is on in like 15 minutes. So yeah, so I normally get here a bit early, so I normally read for a little bit and then I'll head on in to the horses, and sometimes I help get them ready and stuff if they're not ready yet for the lesson, so that's nice. But yeah, so ignore the big sun glare that's on my face right now. Apparently I parked in a bad spot, but I'll probably just look a bit weird if I start like driving around the car park trying to find a spot that doesn't have a glare on my face, so that'll probably look a little bit weird. But yeah, so I'm going to start today off by reading Artemis Fowl. I probably won't read this all day because I do want to try. The Bronze Horseman is a bit more of a chunky book, so I think I might read that over the course of the week and try and get like a chunk of that done every night. There's a book that I've left over from last week that I still need to finish, which is The Making of Molly, and by Anna Carey, and it's a really great book about a little girl who becomes a suffragette in Dublin in 1912, and I'm almost finished it. I'm like 80 pages left, I think, so I'll probably finish that today, even though that's not a Rereadathon book. But I do want to try and finish that because I want to do a video review of it, so I'll probably read that a little bit today when I get home. But for now I'm going to be reading Artemis, and yeah, and just diving back into this world because it's been a really long time, so I'm really looking forward to it. So yes, I will check in later after my lesson. Hopefully I won't fall off because I ate some dirt the last lesson I was at. My horse spooked on me. It was a really windy day, and she spooked at the noise of the wind coming through the doors of the arena, and yeah, she galloped off on me, and then my saddle went sideways, and yeah, I just had to kind of throw myself off and land in the dirt, so that wasn't really fun. I had a bit of a sore back for the rest of the day, but I'm hoping that she's in a good mood today and she doesn't throw me, so we will see. It's my first lesson back in a couple of weeks because I've been really busy the last 3 weeks with different things that were on, so I haven't been in the last few weeks, so I'm just hoping that today will be an easy enough lesson. We'll see. I'll check in later and update you. Hopefully I won't be in hospital or anything, but we'll see. Hi guys, it is currently later on in the day. It's almost 3:30 and I'm just at my pet's therapy visit. So basically what I do once a week is I'm a volunteer with this organisation called Piata, and it's kind of pets as therapy. So I'm with Dezzie, who's in the back here, and we just visit a home for older women with special needs, and we just visit them once a week, and yeah, it's really nice. So I'm just outside there. I'm about to go in, but I just want to do a quick update. I am about 70 pages into Artemis Fowl. I'm really enjoying it so far. I've forgotten so much about what happens in this book. Like I forgot about Butler, who was like Artemis's butler / security guard kind of guy, and I remember really loving him in the book, so I completely forgot that he even existed. So I'm really happy to be back in and remembering all this stuff. I had a few different things to do this morning. I did like 4 videos in a row earlier, my wrap up and a library haul and 2 book reviews, and most of them will be up by the time this vlog is up. But yeah, I had to do all of that earlier, so I didn't get as much reading time, only about half an hour. So yes, I'm about like 75 pages in, I think, at the moment. But yes, loving it, and I'll update later. So yeah, and for now, me and Dezzie are going to be busy. He looks like a soldier. What are you doing? What are you just sitting there for? What are you looking at? I don't even know. Hi guys, it is currently Monday afternoon and I'm just home from work. I managed to finish off Artemis Fowl this morning on my way into work. I only had like 1 chapter left after last night. I just didn't update last night. I was just a bit tired, and I don't want this vlog to be like too long, so I'm only going to try and do a couple of updates a day. But yes, so I finished Artemis Fowl and I loved that. That's definitely a 5-star read for me all the time. I just love being back in the story and remembering everything that I'd forgotten. Artemis is fantastic. Lee Short, who is the fairy, and she's brilliant. I can't wait to go on to the rest of their adventures and just remember all of them. I can't remember how far I actually got in that series when I was younger. But yeah, I got far enough, but I definitely didn't finish it off. So then I've started reading The Bronze Horseman by Paullina, which I'm so happy to be reading again. I'm only like 40 pages in or 50 pages in, and I just adore this book. This is my favourite ever book in the whole world. This is my favourite book. So just being back with Tatiana and Alexander and seeing them fall in love for the first time, and that moment they first meet is just fantastic. I just love that image. This girl eating an ice cream in a red and white dress while everyone else is panicking because war is coming, and she's taking a moment to enjoy an ice cream. And that's basically the moment that Alexander falls in love with her, which is in like the first few pages. And it's just, I just love that. I've always loved, that's one of the top moments in a book, I think, that's always stuck with me, and I've always remembered it, and I just thought it was such a beautiful moment. Yeah, so I'm just loving back in this. So the plan for this evening is basically just to read, probably catch up on some shows, which I normally do every day. I'll watch a couple of my shows. I need to do a massive catch up on Poldark because I'm like a few episodes behind on the second season. So I might watch some Poldark later, who knows, a bit of Aidan Turner. And yeah, I need to clean the fish tank as well because Tom's fish tank is a little bit dirty, so he needs to be put into some fresh water. And yeah. Hi guys, it is Tuesday evening and I am just in my bed as usual. And I got a little bit of reading done today. I managed to finish a book that I was reading last week, which is The Making of Molly by Anna Carey. So I finished that earlier just because I only had like 80 pages left of it, or not even 80 pages, like 60 pages I think. And yeah, so I finished this and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars and I really enjoyed it, but I will be doing a video review of this later on in the week or next week. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. And then I also managed to read a good bit of The Bronze Horseman. I'm currently on like almost 250 pages in now, or a little bit more. And yeah, so my train was a little bit delayed earlier, so we were like standing on the tracks for a while, so I was able to get more reading done on the train more than usual. So I'm one of the person I don't always mind if the train is delayed, especially if it's like coming home from work, not if I'm going into work and I end up being late for work, but if I'm coming home from work, I don't mind it too much, especially if I have like a really good book with me, because then I can just read, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, so I'm going to try and read more of this a little bit later. I have just been watching some shows. I watched some Supergirl and Jane the Virgin last night's episodes, which were great. I really enjoyed them. And I'm also catching up on Gilmore Girls. So I have rewatched like the entire seasons in preparation for the new one that's coming out, but I still have season 6 to rewatch, so I'm just starting that now. And yeah, I've kind of been putting it off because season 6 is my least favourite season out of most of them. There is another season that I don't like, but this one is probably one of my least favourites, and everyone who has watched it will know why. But yeah, so I'm just going to get through this, and I'm really looking forward to the new one. I think it's going to be so good. So yeah, so that is my plan for the rest of the evening, which is not much of it left. There's only a couple of hours before I go to bed, less than a couple of hours. So yeah, so I will check in tomorrow. Hi guys, it is Wednesday evening, and I'm just on my way home from work. Well, it's like 8:30, 8:45, so there was a board game night in work tonight, so I went to that, which was pretty fun. Played some board games that I've never even heard of before, so it was a little bit different, so it was nice. And after today, I think something like that was needed. A tough day for the entire world, I think, with the Trump election, so that was something else. It was not the nicest thing to wake up to. Day of reading was needed today, for sure. I was really glad to be able to go into my book on my break and just forget about our world for a while. So yeah, so I'm just enjoying a chai latte, and then I'm a good chunk into The Bronze Horseman. I am like almost halfway through it now, more than halfway through it. I'm about 400 pages in, and things are just really heating up now, getting to some of my favourite parts in it. They're not so much star-crossed anymore, so that is good. I really enjoy those parts. And then I also have the Demon's Lexicon by Rees Brennan with me, and I'm going to see, I might just read a little bit of this on the way home. I have another like 20 minutes until my train even arrives, and 20 minutes on the train, so I think I might read this on my train ride home and then read The Bronze Horseman before I go to sleep then later on. I think that will be the plan, just to get a head start on this book, because The Bronze Horseman is a little bit chunkier, so it obviously is taking me a few more extra days to read. So yes, so other than that that has been my day so far. My makeup is like completely off. I'm just like looking at myself now, so yes, and I will update you tomorrow to see where I am. But yeah, that's it so far. Hi guys, it is Thursday night and I got a good bit of reading done today. I finished off The Demon's Lexicon by Rees Brennan earlier on and I gave it a 4.5 stars. This is a really great book just about demons and magicians, and it's about two brothers called Nick and Alan, and they've basically just been running from the magicians their entire life, and it's kind of told through Nick's point of view, and Nick's just he's kind of this dark, silent type in a way, and he's like a warrior, and he's a little bit different to other people, and you just kind of learn about him throughout the book. And yeah, I just love this series so much. It's pretty great, so I love being able to reread it. I don't think I've ever reread it, even though it's one of my favourite series. But yeah, I'm really glad to finally reread it, and I just really enjoyed myself. So yes, I really enjoyed that. And then I've read 25% of How I Live Now by Meg Rosoff. And I'm just getting back into that one, so that's been pretty interesting, and so far I'm following along with the story better than I did when I was younger, I think, so I'm happy about that. And How I Live Now is it's about a girl called Daisy who goes to live with her cousins in England. She's from America, and just after a week or 2 weeks after she moves over to England, this it's almost like World War III breaks out, and she's stuck over in England with her cousins, and it's kind of them having to survive during this terrible time. And it was pretty interesting the first time I read it, but I don't think I really got it. I didn't really enjoy it, where this time I think I'll enjoy it more because I'll obviously understand more. And I think with everything going on this week in the world as well, I think this is a pretty interesting one to read right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I think about it, considering the current climate at the moment. So that'll be interesting. So yes, and I also finished an audiobook, a very short audiobook, just a children's book called The Swallow Tale by K.M. Peyton, and it's about a little girl called Rowan who rescues a horse called Swallow, and she starts to learn how to horse ride, and she wants to rescue Swallow from a home that he goes into, and it's just like a horsey book, and I did really enjoy this. And this is technically a reread because I definitely read this when I was younger, but I was only about like 9 or 10 at the time, so I remember very, very little of it, but I definitely read it at one point in my life when I was younger. So it was technically a reread. It only took me 2 days an audiobook to read. Normally takes me like 2 or 3 weeks to read an audiobook. Because this one was so short, it didn't take any time at all. So I finished it on my dog walk earlier, and that was great, so I gave that a 4 stars as well. And right now I'm just going to read for another half an hour, and I'm going to catch up on the Bronze Horseman, as I haven't read that at all today, so I want to get on with that one. But I'm really enjoying that one anyway. I'm kind of just like going through it slowly because it's my favourite book, so I'm just like really sinking into that one and just taking my time with it and really enjoying it. So yes, that's it so far today. Hi guys, it is Saturday afternoon and I'm just out on a walk with the dogs, and yeah, so I didn't update yesterday. I wasn't really doing that much. Did a bit of reading. I finished off How I Live Now by Meg Rosoff last night, and that was really good. Well, I still think the ending is kind of weird on that one, particularly considering it is kind of a young adult book. I just feel like it's a little bit too open-ended, I guess, a little bit too strange. I'm still kind of trying to get my head around it, because when I was younger I didn't really get it at all, where I do understand a lot more of it now, but I was still a little bit like, I don't know, I just feel like the ending always leaves a lot to be desired. So yeah, that was that. I gave that like a 3.5/4 stars, which is probably more than I would have given it the first time around, because the first time I really didn't like it, so it probably would have been like a 2 stars if I was doing ratings back when I read it first. So that was that. And then this morning I finished off the Bronze Horseman, and I'm just wrecking out after that because that's just such a epic story, and it just kind of leaves your emotions all over the place, particularly the end of it. So yeah, that's always going to be a 5 star for me, like all the time it's always 5 stars. I just love, because the Bronze Horseman spans so much time, like it's such a chunky book, it's like 630 pages. You really see a lot of character development, particularly with Tatiana, who is the main character. At the start of the book she's so young and everyone says she's weak and small and she'll never amount to anything, and then she ends up being kind of the person holding everyone together and keeping everyone else alive during the siege, and she's the one that ends up being the strongest out of all of them. And I just love that character development with her. It's really great, and I just love Alexander. He's just, I don't know, he's just kind of the man that, he's just a dreamboat basically. So when I get home after this, I'll be starting, I should say, Marley and Me, which is like my last official Rereadathon book, and I don't think it will take me too long to get through that. I'll probably read a good chunk of it today and then finish it off tomorrow. And I have a few other books I need to start reading because they need to be brought back to the library, so they're not Rereadathon books, but I need to kind of start off on them. So yes, that's kind of the plan for the weekend. Just cleaning, dog walking, yeah. So that is that. So I just thought I'd do something a bit different today and bring you along on the walk, because normally I'm just like in my room, and that kind of gets boring after a while. So yeah, so here's a little bit different scenery and some very excited dogs who get to run around the place. Hi guys, it is Sunday night and the Rereadathon is almost over. I didn't actually get that much reading done today as I was just busy this morning, and then I wasn't feeling great, so I wasn't reading. I was just watching some Netflix, and then I ended up going out with my friend. We went to the cinema, to a late showing in the cinema, and we went to see Arrival, which was really good. So yes, so I'm just back from that and I'm just in bed now, and I'm just going to try and finish off as much as Marley and Me as I can. I only have a few chapters left, less than 100 pages or so left, so I am going to try and finish this, but I'm not sure how far I will get. But yes, so I more or less have finished all of my books for the Rereadathon. I had so much fun doing it. I really enjoyed rereading some of my books, especially ones that I've been wanting to read for quite a while, so that was fun. So thank you to everyone for joining in, and I really hope you liked the Rereadathon, and hopefully we can do another one at some point next year. So yeah, so please comment all the books you got to read if you did join in. So thank you very much for joining in, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!